Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. So you may have noticed that it's been a while since I've uploaded, and honestly I can't even blame the quarantine on that. The last time I uploaded was before this whole thing started, and as you can imagine, the neglect of this channel has been made worse by the start of this global pandemic. But in any case, I'm sure a lot of people have it way worse than I do at the moment, and if I can contribute somehow by making videos that inspire people to be more productive, then that's what I'll do. Hey guys, I feel like I should elaborate on this, but I also want to mention that I am personally getting through this by watching other YouTubers like go about their day and learning from their tips and advice for staying productive. And I think what I meant by this was that some people might be struggling with personal things in their life, and I feel that school is one more thing to add to the list of things to worry about. So by giving my personal tips on like how to stay productive and how to study well and all that, I feel like I'd be helping people out in that way. So I hope that sounds better, but if not, feel free to criticize me in the comments. Thank you. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys how I got out of my rut and ease my way into a better routine during self-isolation. If you're new to my channel, my name is Janelle, and I like to make videos on how to improve your life in school and in general. So if that's something that you're interested in doing, then definitely subscribe because I post new videos every week. Or at least I'm going to be posting every week. If you've seen one of my previous vlogs of me studying at home, you might think,
wow, she seems like such a productive human and she must spend all day every day studying, and I wish that were me.
well, I'm sorry to tell you this, but I've been struggling, and I mean really struggling with trying to stay focused at home. Before, when I would have a hard time studying at home, which was most of the time, I would go to the library or even a cafe to get some homework done, but now I don't have that resource available. So I was already struggling with trying to stay focused at home, and then my school closed for about 2 weeks. Like, we didn't even have online classes. That's when things really started to go downhill. And then Animal Crossing came out, and that's when the hill somehow got steeper, and something that was previously difficult for me immediately became the ultimate challenge. I had the last straw one fateful morning when I had spent countless hours on my phone, and I felt so horrible about it that I decided that I needed to do something about it. I was like, you know what? Something's gotta change. I can't keep living my life like this. So I got out my notebook, and the very first thing that I did was I wrote down what my ideal morning, daily, and evening routines would be. And if you can take anything away from this video, I think this is the #1 thing that helped me get out of my rut. If I had not figured out what my ideal day would look like, I would still be stuck trying to figure out what to do next. Because believe it or not, your future self is not somebody who somehow, for one reason or another, has everything figured out already. The person who makes that happen is your present self. Decide ahead of time so that when your future self is confused about what to do next, they have this to reference. And put this somewhere that you can see so that there's less confusion on what to do with your day. When you're planning out your routines, it's important to keep them simple. I don't suggest trying to implement like 5 new things into your routine. I would try and do like maybe 2 or 3 things, because even if you feel like you can accomplish everything on the first or maybe even the second day that you start your new routine, very quickly you will find that trying to implement 5 new things into your life will be kind of overwhelming. It's better to begin with only a couple new things into your routine, and then once they stick, then you can add more things. When you're planning out your ideal day, I also suggest planning out alternative routines. Think about the things that might happen throughout your day that might derail you from starting or ending your day on the right foot. And then write down a plan for those days when maybe you didn't stick to the routine that you wanted to. For example, one thing that gets me into a productive mood is changing into normal clothes, like getting out of my pajamas and putting on some jeans. I know that some days I won't want to put on normal clothes, and on those days I've told myself ahead of time that if I just put on a bra, then that should be enough to get me into a productive mood. The second thing that helped me get out of my rut is the fact that I started planning out my entire day. And I don't mean writing down like these are the things that I plan on doing today. I mean scheduling exactly when I'm going to do those things. I use a modified version of the Pomodoro technique to plan my day, and if you're not familiar with the Pomodoro technique, it's basically a productivity system where you set a timer for 25 minutes and you work during that 25 minutes, and then you take a break for 5 minutes, and then you work again for another 25-minute session, and then after 4 sessions you take a longer break. Personally, I can't work for 25 minutes, so I've cut my sessions down to 20 minutes. When I plan my day, I write down every little chunk of time that I'm going to be doing work in a timetable, just so I'm not spending all day trying to figure out what I'm going to do next. This also helps because it gives you a more reasonable idea of what you can accomplish in a day. I used to be like, all right, well, I need to get all of these things done, but this always ended up making me feel bad for not getting the stuff done that I needed to do. And I also think that by not giving myself a time frame, it took me a lot longer to get this stuff done. I know it sounds like something that an overachiever would do, but once I write down what I need to do in a specific time frame, then it frees up space in my brain for other more important things. What I normally do is I'll write down my to-do list for the day, and then I'll think about how long it'll take to complete each task, and then I'll throw it into my timetable depending on how long it'll take. Normally I start with the things that I know I won't want to do at the end of the day, because personally, I know that I'll do the more urgent things later on. If I don't work on other things, I'll just put them off until they're due. And then I use this timer called Tomato Timer, and I'll have that linked in the description so that you can check it out. But basically, it's this timer that will ring when it's time for your break, and then it'll ring again when it's time for you to start working again. I have a huge tendency to lose track of time when I'm on my break, so this helps for that. And also, if I don't have a timer set, I tend to check the time while I'm working, which isn't something that you want to do when you're trying to do more focused work. This timer also allows you to change the time intervals in the settings, so for me, I'll set the time intervals to 20 minutes, which is perfect. Finally, this last tip isn't as practical, but I think it's worth mentioning because I still struggle with this from time to time. Sometimes I get into this mindset that I feel guilty for not getting the work done in the day that I wanted to, or I beat myself up for procrastinating so much, especially for those times where I have a really big task that I should have been working on periodically, but for some reason or another I put it off until the deadline. I know it's not easy to do, but I try to forgive myself for procrastinating in the past. I also try to forgive myself for not being in the mood to do anything. I know sometimes it's really hard to do that, especially when you have an assignment staring you dead in the face. But if you start thinking stuff like, ugh, I suck, I should have done this earlier, are you really gonna want to do that assignment? Or would you be more inclined to do it if you said something to yourself like, you know what, it's okay that I put this off until today, I'm human, stuff happens. Because the reality is that you're not gonna feel 100% all day every day. You're not gonna get everything done in a timely manner. It's just impossible. Especially now, since I feel like people aren't really in a good place mentally, and I think it's important to remember that you're allowed to have those days when you don't feel like doing anything. Anyways, that's all I have for today. If you stuck to the end of this video, then I hope these tips help you out in some way. If you were also in a rut and somehow got out of it, tell us the things that you did to get you out of it so that other people can get those tips. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you have any video suggestions, leave them in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe because I post new videos every Sunday. Click that notification bell icon while you're at it so that you can be up to date on all of my uploads. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.